All right, we are live. It's game one of the NBA playoffs. Everything that happened before today doesn't matter. It's now playoffs time. Let's talk about a big Jazz win against the Dallas Mavericks. The Hoops Nerd post-game show. I'm excited. All right, guys, my hands are absolutely like raw from wringing them watching this game. It was a close one at the end, and it had me nervous because Jazz fans before tonight, and I know I just mentioned we can't remember what's before this game, but it's like a bad dream sometimes that comes up. Let's talk about the Mavericks a little bit. Obviously, story of the game was Luka Doncic not playing, and we will see if he plays the next one. He has 2 days for his ankle to heal 100%. We'll see. My guess is he might try. But we will see. I mean, he was walking around without a limp, but I don't know if that means he's necessarily, healthy. This Mavericks team, you've got to give respect to the Mavericks. They played hard. They play up in your jersey. They make every shot difficult. And without their star player, they came out and were just absolutely impressive to me. So nice showing from the Doncic-less Mavericks. Dinwiddie and Jalen Brunson were pretty solid for them, although you look at Brunson's numbers, they weren't as great as I might have expected. Bullock hit some massive threes. He was 3 for 8, and Finney-Smith as well, although these guys probably need a few more shots when they're knocking them down at this rate. Tough to do. Dwight Powell did not do much. This is called the Rudy Gobert effect, and you play 22 minutes and get played off the floor. And I think, honestly, so we'll talk about the Jazz, and there's a lot of things to talk about with the Jazz. We'll get to it. But Josh Green, who, by the way, I really liked in the draft, and I actually on the SB Nation draft 2 years ago, I drafted him for Utah for SLC dunk. You could see the athleticism on the defensive end, but the Jazz just absolutely did not guard him on offense, and he went 0 for 4. If he makes like 1 or 2 of these, it's obviously a different game because it was so close. It comes down to 6-point game, but this might have been a completely different game if Josh Green knocks those down. And so that's something to watch. And it does remind you that when Luka Doncic is out, it kind of lets you know that this Mavericks team is kind of just one player too small. Josh Green's just not there yet. Maybe that shot will eventually develop, but it's just not there right now. And so we'll see what happens next game. If Doncic comes back, then we probably don't see Josh Green. But because Doncic is out, that's the thing, is when you have a star player, especially your superstar player like Doncic or like LeBron with the Lakers or Kevin Durant with the Nets or Donovan Mitchell with the Utah Jazz, once that player's not playing, that's like 36 to 40 minutes you have to fill. And that means you are filling it with like Josh Green. And that's what changes the game. So when Doncic comes back, this efficiency goes away. And obviously you have Luka Doncic, and you'll probably see an uptick in efficiency from some of these guys. Although 57-50 from the field's pretty darn good. You're not going to get much better than that, if at all. And then Jalen Brunson and Dinwiddie probably goes to the bench, or Brunson goes to the bench. I'm not sure who will. I think Dinwiddie. Let me know in the comments, Mavericks fans. I don't know who normally comes off the bench for them. I know in the past Brunson has, but with Dinwiddie, I haven't watched as much Mavericks. But anyways, we'll see if Luka Doncic comes back. It's obviously a different Mavericks team with Luka Doncic, and that makes all the matchups really, really fun to watch. We'll see if he comes back. The Woj report, and I put it in my game preview from about Doncic, was that he probably was not coming back for the first 2 games, which is really tough for the Mavericks because after these 2 games, you're going to Utah. So we'll see what happens. All right, before we get to the Jazz, Andrew Streeter, member for 7 months. Thank you, Andrew, for supporting the channel. I much appreciated. Royce was bad, but didn't pass out of that shot. W. All right, should we start with that? Let's start with that, and then let's talk about all the other Jazz players who were fantastic tonight. But Royce O'Neale has not been playing well recently. He just has not. And I know he hit the big shot, like Andrew mentioned, and it was big. It was a major part of the Jazz winning this game. If he doesn't hit that shot, I don't know, because the Jazz were looking a little on their heels, like they always seem to at the end of these games. My preference would have been not having Royce in the game at the end at all. I feel like Quinn Snyder puts his starters out there every single time to close the game, and opposing coaches are like, oh, great. I know exactly what to do now because it's my game plan I started the game with. Let's just go back to that. And then it happens. And then because it's a close game, you've got players playing tight. Guys are guarding up in the jersey even more. Less fouls are called. It's hard to score in the clutch. So when you just play your regular starters, which if Royce O'Neale was playing awesome, it wouldn't matter. The problem is he's not. So you put your starters out there and things just get easier for Jason Kidd and for the Mavericks players because they immediately know exactly what to do. It's a problem in the past. It's been a problem for years. It's a problem right now, and it's just apparently going to keep happening. But anyways, I would have closed with House. But I will say, shout out to Royce O'Neale for making that shot. It was a big shot. It was also the only shot he hit in the game. He went 1 for 5. He was the only starter in the negative plus minus. It was the only shot he made. So yes, we should give him credit for hitting the shot. It was also the only shot he made. All right? So credit where credit is due, but also let's have a little context. Because who would we have rather played? I'm already losing my voice. You said it, Jordan the GOAT Best Rule said it in the chat. His name is Danuel House. House money came today. And the Jazz were playing with house money. And when he was on the floor, it was fantastic. 50% from the field. He made 3 shots this game. So it's not that big of a difference. But the defense and the athleticism is palpable. He makes multiple plays. And you feel his presence on the floor. So much of NBA basketball is impact. How much do you impact the game? How much do you hit the game? How much do you get in the jersey? How much do you get on your man? How much do you score the ball? How much do you stop them from scoring? What are you doing to make them mad? What are you doing to stop them? And that's what Danuel House does, baby. That's what he does. I'm so hyped. The season started over. The Jazz are undefeated in the playoffs. 1-0. 15 to go. Anyways, the way they go beyond is with Danuel House. That is the way, the truth, and the light for this Utah Jazz is get Danuel House on the floor. How many times do we have to ask for it? How much evidence do we need before we believe it? All right? Put him on the floor. Put him on the floor and keep him there. 20 minutes is not enough. 20 minutes is not enough. Anyone on the chat think 20 minutes is enough minutes for Danuel House? I personally do not feel that way. I do not feel that way. The perimeter defense is palpable. And the other reason you have to play him, if you are not playing Danuel House and you are running Mike Conley, Donovan Mitchell, Royce O'Neale, Bojan Bogdanovic, and Rudy Gobert, that means you have 1 elite defender on the floor and 4 average at best defenders. And that's being pretty nice. Bojan Bogdanovic is an average at best defender when he's trying. And he can be average defender, but that's average. Mike Conley at this point is a bad defender. He had a nice defensive stop. But you guys watched on this show, we watched the play-by-play at the end of that Suns game, and it was disastrous. So if you're going to have Mike Conley and Donovan Mitchell on the floor, who are a little undersized, and that's going to be a problem when Luka Doncic gets back. Because when Luka Doncic gets back, guess what they're going to do? Like they did last time when Mike Conley and Luka Doncic were on the floor, they are going to ISO Luka on Mike Conley. So what you need to do is put Danuel House on the floor and have a high-level defender on the floor, because Royce, it's just not happening with Royce. He had a few moments tonight, but he's the only starter with a negative plus minus. And there's a reason. It's the 3-point shot's not really falling, although it did at the end, and the defense is not there. You need to play House more and probably start him. I would like to see House playing 36 minutes, and then Royce off the bench. So just change this minutes around. 30 to House, 20 to Royce. All right? And there you go. Boom. And I think you'll see a big impact from that. And then, like we said, Danuel House to close games, to help out with closing unit, because you need positive defenders on the floor. You need them. I honestly there's a part of me that wonders if maybe the Jazz should just close with Donovan, Royce, House, Bojan, and Rudy, and just go with size and go defense first, and then just put the ball in either Donovan or Bojan's hands, because Bojan hit that big step back, and then Donovan hit some shots, and then the Royce 3. But I tell you what, Danuel House can hit a corner 3 as well. So more House. All right. Okay. Let's talk about Rudy Gobert first. Rudy Gobert was masterful tonight. He took one shot, and I retweeted it, but he is the only player in NBA history with one field goal attempt. Obviously, part of this is the fact that he was put on the line this many times, but they were taking away the role. So one field goal attempt, but 17 rebounds and 3 blocks, a +6. Rudy had monster moments, especially to close the game tonight. He did have that one foul at the end where he took the fake, and I couldn't believe it. I just thought, Rudy, you are one of the best defensive players in the history of the league, maybe a top 3 defender in the history of the NBA. How are you taking the fake? Next time that won't happen. But otherwise, Rudy Gobert was masterful. He made big time plays, multiple massive blocks. Fantastic from Rudy. And then 17 rebounds. There's 5 points, 17 rebounds, 3 blocks. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Robert, Hall of Fame. Heck yeah, baby. Nice win for the Jazz. Thank you, Robert. 199. Thank you, sir. Anyways, Rudy Gobert showed why he is just absolutely playoff. This narrative, the narratives about Rudy are stupid. He's incredible, and he does amazing things. Now, it's just more difficult to score in the playoffs, and Rudy Gobert is just not an elite scorer with the ball in his hands. It's far from it. But he can score efficiently at times. I felt like he could have done a little better in the roles at the beginning of the game with Mike Conley, but that's something they will work on and try to figure out how to make that happen more often. But otherwise, Rudy Gobert was fantastic tonight. He was honestly superstar level and a major reason why the Jazz won. Bojan Bogdanovic, 40 minutes, absolutely necessary. Just a huge part of this win tonight. Bojan in the first half absolutely carried this Jazz team because Donovan Mitchell goes 1 for 8 in the first half. And Bojan Bogdanovic had, I think it was 20 points. I can't remember exactly what it was. He was phenomenal in the first half. The second half, he cooled off a little bit. He goes 2 for 6 from 3, but 40 minutes of absolute necessary time from Bojan Bogdanovic. 5 rebounds, 4 assists from the assassin, 26 points, and he was a +11 to lead the team. So really, we don't win this game without a full team effort. Bojan Bogdanovic in the first half, those 26 points were completely necessary. 2 for 2 from the free throw line. Fantastic night from Bogey. Awesome night. Mike Conley, 6 for 12 from the field, 1 for 2 from 3. Absolute. This is hilarious. I think I put this in as they write it down. Oh my gosh, dude. I think we wrote down 13 points and 6 assists. All right, so he got 3. But Mike Conley was solid tonight. I think Mike Conley's taken a step back this season, and it's part of the reason this Jazz team has not quite blown the doors off people. But he's still putting up high-efficiency games, and it's nice to see him do this with a Dallas Mavericks defense that was playing incredibly hard. Mike Conley still got it. I think he's a little bit on the back end of the twilight of his career, but he's still got it. And all they need is for him to have a big playoffs. 15 more games. You got 15 more games in you, Mike? Can you give us 15 more games? 15 more W's. That's all we need. Give it everything, Mike. Now's the time. Now's the time. Because it may never happen again. Now's the time. As Eminem once said, you only get one shot. All right? Now is the shot. All right, let's get through these comments. Robert Hall, 15 months, my man. And Royce there when mattered. Yes, big time 3 from Royce at the end. Jordan, the GOAT, best role, 13 months, over a year. Getting to that rookie, getting that contract. Jazz stay out of trouble, and it's not close. Absolutely. The refs were putrid. The Jazz were favored by, I believe, 5.5 tonight. You could see that on the SLC Dunk preview. The refs knew it. They knew what that was. And the shaving was going on. It was going on. I don't know why I turned into Macho Man there. Kvambor 18, member for 7 months. Loved Van Gundy, giving credit he deserves. Yes, sometimes Van Gundy, it's funny, when I'm listening to Van Gundy, he'll say something that I'm like, the meme with Leonardo DiCaprio, and he's like, that. And I'll agree. And then there's times where he'll make me mad. So it's he makes me mad, he makes me happy, he makes me mad, he makes me happy. I guess it is what it is. Zintis, X marks the spot. $5, my man. Thank you, sir. If Jason Kidd and the Mavs are smart, they won't play Doncic till game 4. Good win for the Jazz. Is it too early for the Jazz to get some brooms? Well, here's the thing. It's going to be tough. I think I think Doncic has either never won an SLC or won like 1 out of 8. I can't remember exactly. Someone could look it up if they want. But it's no more than like 1 win in Salt Lake City. Doncic doesn't win in Salt Lake. At least so far. So we shall see. If the Jazz can win these first 2 games, if Doncic doesn't play game 2, the Jazz can get another win if they can. Although easier said than done. This Mavs team is really good, even without Doncic. They're coming out playing hard. But if they can get those first 2 wins, maybe. Let's hope. Although this Jazz team, they break your heart many, many times. Thanks again for the $5 into us, my man. Andrew Streeter, $4.99. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Don's played in 34 playoff games, and now in 17 of them, he's had 30-plus points, and today it was 30 just in the second half alone. Superstar shiz. Yes, man. Yes. And with that, Andrew, by the way, thank you again, Andrew, and everyone who donates. I appreciate it. And also all the members, rookies, starters, all-stars. Thank you for supporting the channel. You guys are amazing. Thank you. Let's talk about Donovan Mitchell. 41 minutes. 10 for 29. So the percentages weren't there. That was if you take off 8, what is it? 10 for 21. It was a rough start for Donovan to start the game. 1 for 8, but the second half was masterful. He had a few misses at the end too, where you see this. That's where this comes in. But 32 points. He took 11 free throws. This is the superstar stuff. We did a video about this not too long ago. The average superstar is taking 6-7 free throws a game. If you are a superstar player or star player or an all-star, you are typically taking, and that in terms of scorers, you are taking about 7 free throws a game average, 6-7 a game. And Donovan Mitchell raised that this year, by the way. I don't have time to look at it, but he has raised it. He is figuring it out. And what happens in the playoffs, this is part of the reason why Donovan goes nuclear in the playoffs, is he just like goes like all out. He is not holding back at all. He is going to the rim hard, and he's getting fouled, and he's going to the free throw line. And when you shoot 90% from the free throw line, go to the rim as much as you can. As much as you can. And the more Don can do this, the more he will do this. 32 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds. And these 6 assists don't tell the whole story. I mean, there were a few missed open threes that Donovan set up. Spilt milk at this point. But it's not even just the assists. Donovan, when he was on the floor in the second half, was absolutely facilitating everything. It locks up more at the end of the game, and I think we need to be a little bit more like lenient to Donovan. We give him such a hard time for when he's missing shots. The end of the game is so difficult to get a good shot. And we saw Don passing the ball. Like Donovan missed a few shots, although he made a couple more. Tonight, Donovan made the shots he needed to. And the big thing that happened was the Jazz got some defensive stops. Thank you to Rudy Gobert. And that was the reason why they won in the clutch. It's not always just Donovan missing shots. It's also the defensive end. So both happened, and it got the win. But anyways, and a big Royce O'Neale 3. But guess what? Some of that happens because Don was facilitating at the end of the game. The thing everyone wanted him to do. The thing is, even with Don facilitating, those shots weren't all falling again. You know, Mike had a bunch of threes this game that, well, let's see. Maybe not. He only took 2, so that's a false narrative. But anyway, some of these threes that Bogey missed were set up by Donovan Mitchell, and they just don't go in. So it's not always Donovan's fault. He's facilitating. And sometimes, and we talked about this before with the Suns loss, there's a difference between a bad shot and a missed shot. Sometimes the missed shot is the only shot there, and it looks like they don't have replays up yet. I guess if I refresh. But anyways, there's differences between missed shots and bad shots. And sure, there's good, better, best. You know, we can talk about that too, but it's if Donovan Mitchell gets a shot up and it's a clean look in the end of the game and he's being guarded by a good defender and the defenses are locked up and it's an end of the shot clock shot, that's not a bad shot. Now, could there possibly be better shots? Yes. And Donovan actually moved the ball, and this Royce O'Neale 3, the one shot he took, could have been you probably let's just do that right now. Let's look at the assists and give Donovan Mitchell his credit. All right, we're going to do that right now. And let's just watch. All right, where are we? Okay, so here's Donovan Mitchell facilitating the game. There's just the behind the back to Bogey. 2 dribbles, and that counts as an assist, even though Bogey kind of earned that. But, hey, Donovan Mitchell set it up. Let's see. Bogdanovic kind of assisting Donovan in the free throw category here. 1, 2, 3. Oh, they gave Donovan the assist anyway. That's okay. That's okay. All right, and then let's see right here, Bogdanovic, another 3-point shot. This is end of the second quarter. Donovan sets this up. Boom. That's all Donovan. Obviously, Bogey makes the open three, though. Bogdanovic, 12-foot pull-up. So this is, let's see. This is 6 minutes left. So we're talking about end of fourth quarter now. Donovan Mitchell has the ball at the top, sets up Bogey, and gets the shot. And that's big time. Great stuff. Let's see. Right here, Donovan Mitchell, 3 minutes, 27 seconds left. Sets up Mike Conley. Boom. Big shot by Mike Conley, by the way. And then finally a three-point shot. Donovan sets this up. Boom. Oh, so we talk about the big three by Royce. Who set it up? Who set it up? Who set it up? No one said big assist Donovan Mitchell. I can tell you that. All the Twitter people did not say the big assist Donovan Mitchell, but who set it up? All right? Let's just give him his credit. When he does badly, we'll talk about it. But when he does a good job, we also need to give him credit, okay? That was Donovan Mitchell setting that up at the end of the game. Big time stuff from Donovan. Jordan, the GOAT, best roll, 199. 40 minutes for Mitchell will come back to bite us. I don't think so. It's playoff basketball time, my man. You've got to play your best guys. I would much rather have Jordan. I mean, if you sit Donovan Mitchell, who are you putting in? Jared Butler, Rudy Gay didn't play, by the way. That was interesting. Juancho got 5 minutes, and that's all he got. You can tell this is the Jazz rotation. So they go Bogey 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The Jazz are going 8 deep with their rotation. So this is it. And it looks like Juancho is getting that extra minutes. And honestly, Juancho's 5 minutes were pretty decent. He had 3 nice rebounds. I think he had one. Did he have one turnover? He had one play where it didn't look great, but 3 rebounds for Juancho in 5 minutes. You'll take it. He missed a shot. Oh, that's right. He missed that one layup. Maybe that's why he sat. I don't know. I would actually rather have Juancho than Rudy Gay. Rudy Gay's been very unpredictable, and I think Juancho helps you out actually in like transition defense better. He's just more athletic, and I just like him on the floor more. Let's see. I wanted to give a shout out to, let's see. We talked about Donovan. We talked about the starters. We talked about my love for Danuel House. Let's talk about Hassan Whiteside. I felt like Hassan Whiteside was really solid, like really solid. Robert Hall, $9.99. My man. Thank you for the donation for the Hoops Nerd in the finals season. Go Jazz. Yes. Final season, 15 games. That's all they've got to win now. But anyways, Hassan Whiteside just played a solid veteran game. And it's really nice to see because in the past, he's been, kind of up and down with his level of play and with his engagement and things like that. Tonight, he played 12 really solid minutes, plus minus 0. When the Jazz had favors and he was hurt, it was like minus 12 every game, and Rudy had to come in and make up for it. But Hassan Whiteside has come in and holds the fort. And if Hassan Whiteside keeps it even like this, where you're not losing leads, you're just holding the lead, that's amazing. Amazing stuff. But thank you again, Robert Hall of Fame, baby. 8 rebounds for Whiteside, 1 for 2 from the field. They really are taking away the role for the Jazz. But I just thought Hassan Whiteside was great. And then Jordan Clarkson. The Jazz don't win this game without Jordan Clarkson. Jordan Clarkson, who goes 4 for 7 from the field. He went, and I love that he only took 2 of these threes. It wasn't falling. So Jordan Clarkson went to what was efficient, and it was the 4 for 7 for 10 points. And just the same as Hassan Whiteside held the fort. The Jazz don't win this game without Jordan Clarkson because he was hitting shots, 19 important minutes. He makes 2 free throws. Big time stuff. Key himself, $2, my man. Jazz in 7 with Gobert tip in as time expires. Wouldn't that be amazing? Are you talking finals? Because if that's the way the Jazz won the finals, I think we'd just all go like, and just die. I couldn't even imagine what it would be like with a Jazz finals victory. It would be absolutely unbelievable. Unbelievable. So anyways, guys, I think that's all we got tonight. It's Easter tomorrow. We're going to go head off to my in-laws and eat cheesecake that I made. You can follow me on Instagram if you want to see my final cheesecake. I will reveal it later today. I know everyone's interested in my cheesecakes that I make, especially me. Although, you want to see something weird about me? My skin on my face. Have I ever showed you this? This is an important part of the show, by the way. My skin on my face stretches an abnormal amount. Anyways, that's my party trick, I guess, my hidden talent. I'm like a superhero that didn't get all the way there. he can stretch his face a little on his X-Men card. All right, let's give a shout out to our All-Stars. By the way, guys, if you haven't already, support the channel by joining. You get to be part of the chat, and it also just supports the channel and keeps it growing and keeps it going. Let's give a shout out to Total Game Domination, TGD, Christian House Money to House, to Haas, Tyson Price, the Price is Right, Baby Elliot Matson, X marks the spot for Zintas, Jordan the GOAT, Best Roll, Joshua Hansen, the Danish Destroyer, Hansen's in the house. And one Anton Warren, Ezekiel Raisibe, the man from down under, JT Buckets Wardell, Austin R. Grant, editor extraordinaire, Eric C., the C stands for champion, Donald Schooley, schooling all of us, DW to CB, Darren Williams to Carlos Boozer, DW to CB, the nickname Master, Jorge Arrizaga, mi amigo de Abaco, Lee Christensen driving the lane, Patrick Akubo, the connoisseur, what? And Robert, Hall of Fame. I especially appreciate the donations tonight, Robert. You are amazing. Amazing. Guys, if you haven't already, if you're a Jazz fan, like and subscribe to the channel. If you're not a Jazz fan, go to the NBA channel. It's linked below, or just go to my channel. You'll find it. It's Hoops Nerd NBA. That's going to grow more soon, I hope. We'll see. Maybe, or maybe not. We'll figure it out. Usually it just kind of works out. If it doesn't, who cares? Anyways, like and subscribe to the channel. I will talk to you after next game. Game 2!